Hello everyone, welcome back to The Man Collects. We're here once again at the man's dining room table. And sorry I'm kind of cut off here at the screen, but we're trying to get the true guest stars on camera today. But I got these in, I think, last week or something from McFarlane Toy Store, the Dark Knight Trilogy wave. I got two sets of them. I do want one set to keep in box, one set to open. Through my rigorous QC process, I have went through identified these four will be opened today and reviewed on the channel, along with putting together Mr. Bane and seeing what he looks like, and these will be kept in the box. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a little bit of time off of the camera. We're going to open these up, get all the pieces out and ready. We'll take a look at these four figures, and then we'll put together Bane and take a look at him. And for anyone who is unfamiliar with this wave, the figures it consists of are Batman, the Christian Bale version, Heath Ledger's Joker, the Scarecrow, which is a lot better looking figure looking here just in the box than what I thought it was going to be. And then we have Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. So let's get these open and take a look at them, and I'll be right back. Yay! All right, so we're starting out here with you seeing one of my arms and some random pieces of figures here. But try to zoom the camera down a little bit closer on the table here in order to get a better look at these figures as we go. I'm going to try to do this figure review a little different than some of the other ones I've done. I'm not going to talk about all the silly little points I normally talk about. We're just going to look at the figures. As far as the order I'm going to show them in, I'm going to go in the order there numbered on the boxes. So we're going to look at Batman, Joker, Two-Face, and Scarecrow. So first we've got our Christian Bale Batman. Get a little close up of the face sculpt there so you can see, and this thing looks great. And it's bulky. Maybe the cape adds some weight. I'm sure that does add a little bit of weight to the figure, but you know, he's a lot bulkier than I thought he would be. But one criticism I am seeing online, and see if I can turn it up here and you can see, you know, his nose not being blacked out there or whatever. And I think some of the figures it showed had a little bit of maybe a paint mishap here to where it was like the skin color on the bridge of the nose piece, but this one's not like that. I mean, the head sculpt looks great. You get a good close up there. This is an excellent looking Batman. And there's the back and the backside under the cape. But yeah, I mean, another thing I've seen is some QC issues, especially with the Batman figure. I think it's this arm breaking off, which would be the left arm. Mine seems fine. I mean, they're a little wobbly on there, but they turn fine. Nothing seems loose. All the joints are good and opened up. Very, very posable. I mean, it's going to be good to do some awesome poses with this Batman figure once we get going with it. But one thing I do want to look at on this McFarlane, since I have had issues with this I guess, aspect of these figures, how good will he stand up? And as we can see, let me actually get him here in the camera. And again, trying to go for more of an aerial view to see the figures. But you can see there, he stands up. I mean, he's pretty easy there to get him to stand up there. And again, I'm kind of excited for all the different poses you can get to do. But like I said, that's our Batman figure there. Let's take a look at what he comes with. He does come with some accessories. And let's kind of put him, there we go, flexing the bat muscles there, showing off. So let's lay Batman down over here. One thing he comes with is his grappling gun, or spear gun, I guess what 89 Batman would have called the thing. Saw criticism online for him coming with this thing about how they're not supposed to come with guns and whatnot. Come on, people, this is a gun that shoots a rope and a hook. Batman and a grappling hook goes together like, I guess, peanut butter and jelly or whatever. And then these are, in my opinion, a little oversized. But these, I guess, supposed to be batarangs. These look awesome. You know, these are just cool looking just in general for little decorative pieces. But you got three of these. You can see the other two down here. Let me get the shadow of my hand out of the way, but here on the table. But those are very cool accessories that come with him. Look forward to doing some things with this Batman. All right, his trading card that came with him. Got a good action pose of him on there from the movies. And then we'll take a look at the back side. I will leave it up here for a second in case anyone wants to pause and read it, trying to keep the glare off of that. And my cat just bumped into my tripod. I'm sorry for the screen shaking, but hey, it's real life here at the man's house. And I'm only going to show one of these, but still, you got your basic, well, if I can hang on to it. There you go, Bob. I dropped something. I'm actually not shopping this time. But your basic stand, you got the little DC print on there and the one peg there. This come with all four figures. Actually, did the Joker come with one? Joker did not, and we'll look at that. Well, no, he did. I'm sorry. It's laying under. Rambling on here, but... And then the Bane pieces that come with Batman, you got his legs, and we'll take a look at the Bane pieces here after a while when we put Bane together. But the next figure we're going to look at, number 2 on the, I guess, Build-A-Figure countdown clicker thing there. Heath Ledger's Joker, and look at that face sculpt. I gotta say, out of all the figures, this one is my favorite of this line. I mean, look at that face sculpt, the detail. This thing just looks mean when you look at it. It looks like it just wants to, reach up here and just punch me right in the face and claw my eyes out or something. But you can see the Joker there. He's got this little trench coat piece. The one thing I do like, the little cord there for, I guess, a pocket watch. I had to watch the movies to see what he had on this cord. But that's a cool little feature on him there. And the jacket feels a good high quality rubber little jacket. His vest is rubberized. I mean, this is just an awesome figure. Then, of course, the trench coat's going to limit his movement with what you can do with his legs and whatnot on there. But not that bad. It doesn't limit the arms at all and what you can do moving them. But again, I want to show it again. Just look at the face sculpt. I'll get as close as I can there. And that is just great. It really, really captured Heath Ledger's Joker in action figure form, in my opinion. But you got the back of the figure there, and we'll do profile shots and the front. And then the one aspect I like to judge McFarlane's on, let's see how he will stand up. Ah, look there, he stands up. So that is the Joker. And I gotta say, all of these, I messed with them a little bit before I turned the camera on, just to make sure I wasn't gonna turn it on and an arm come off as soon as I pull on it. And the last two McFarlanes I bought actually have been really limber. I mean, they're able to move and twist. All the joints are pretty good. So that's one good thing on there. And so far, both of them have stood up because I did not test the standability before turning the camera back on. I wanted that to be live on camera. But again, this one, in my opinion, of the four is the best. So let's see what he comes with. He comes with an alternate base. You have the stack of money here, and you can see it's got the peg right there to put him on to stand him up. This is a cool accessory for the Joker. I mean, this is one thing when I saw it, and when I first saw it released online, I didn't know what this was until I kind of zoomed in on it and saw it was the stacks of cash. But again, that's a cool little alternate base there that comes with him. And you can see that's just going to look awesome, him standing there with the big stack of money on him. So, as far as the trading card, you got Why So Serious. I remember that being one of the teaser posters for The Dark Knight when I used to work at a movie theater years ago. I probably still have that somewhere. But you got a cool looking card there for the Joker. There's the back. I will leave it there for anyone who wants to pause and read what it says. All right, this thing come with multiple Bane pieces. The coolest thing it came with, you got his head sculpt there. So we're going to show the individual pieces as we go because I'm not going to zoom in on these when we do the build. And then you've got multiple hands. I mean, you've got gripping hands here, like he's reaching out and get a hold of something. You got some more here. This is fingers open. You got the gloved hands, the same thing. But the ones, this is spoiler, I'm going to use are the fist. And the reason I'm giving this Bane fist is because the Mega Fig Bane that I've got, that I also have a review for on this channel, had open hands and did not come with fists. Bane's got to have fists. How's he going to punch Batman if he doesn't have fists? So we're going to give him fists when we put him together. But that is number 2, the Joker. Now let's look at number 3 in the Build-A-Fig line, which is Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. And to be honest, this one, in my opinion, this is my least favorite figure just because of how, I mean, I know he's not, Aaron Eckhart's not a big guy in the movie, but look how scrawny. I mean, his arms are so small and his legs are kind of scrawny. You know, he's a bigger, stockier guy than that, I think, in real life. And he's not, I don't know. But again, I just think he's a little bit small. But the coolest thing about this figure we'll get into here is the detailing there. And you got the burning on his jacket, and then look at the Two-Face, I guess you can say. But very good attention to detail on that. And the only thing with his hair, if you look here at the back of his head, I mean, it kind of makes it look like a hairpiece, but hey, that's what Two-Face looks like. I mean, half his head burn off there. But this is another one like the Joker. He's got good motion, good range of motion on there. You're not really limited on what you can do because of the jacket. It doesn't come down long enough to hurt anything. And again, all of his joints were good and limber out of the box. Another cool thing about this, and I kind of wish there was more detail on the coin, because looking at it here, I wish you'd be able to see more of like a bad side and a good side. Maybe you can. I might have to get a microscope or something. But you can see there, if it will zoom in, he's got his coin in his hand. Of course, you can't take that out. It's made onto his hand. But that's a cool little feature there that came with him, to have the coin that he will flip to determine everyone's fate. But let's get a shot of all 4 sides here. There's your front side of him. We'll get another close-up of the head sculpt for anybody who wants to see that. And then we'll take a look at the back. We'll get the side there, the head. Get to zoom in on him. There we go. And then our profile. You have Harvey face. and Scary Face. If anybody's ever watched, I think it's Funny or Die, the Batman clips. Those things are awesome. Now, my favorite feature of McFarlane's standability. He's got really skinny feet, where he's kind of a little scrawny guy. So I'm betting he's going to be a pain in the you-know-what to get to well, no, actually, he stood up pretty easy there. And he's, kind of sturdy. So never mind. I was going to have to be negative for no good reason. He stands up pretty well there. I guess where he doesn't have a lot of mass to the figure, it's more balanced, but Harvey stood up pretty good. All right, let's take a look at his card. And I believe in Harvey Dent. And one thing I thought would have been cool with this, I know they don't really do custom stands. You got that thing with the Joker. But if they would have made that right there and look like his coin, or would have made it look like that button with I believe in Harley Dent for his standing base, that would have been cool. But again, you got his card there. We'll flip it around to the back and leave it up for a few seconds if anybody wants to pause and read the data file. But again, the trading cards that came with all four of these figures were really good. But that is Mr. Dent. And now let's go to what is labeled on the box as number 4 of the Build-A-Way figure, the Scarecrow. And this Scarecrow figure, I kind of thought when this first came out, this would be the weakest link. But man, this thing's, I think this is right there with the Joker. The Joker and the Scarecrow were my favorite two in this one. Batman being third and Harvey being my least favorite of the four. But you know, look at the detail there on the mask of Scarecrow. I mean, it almost looks kind of like Jason Voorhees-ish, I think. I think that's why I like the figure so much, actually. But you can see there, you can see he's got his suit on under, and just the burlap rag, or sack, whatever you want to call it, there over the rest of his body. But we'll get his side profile. And then from the back. And look at the details on the jacket, or his overall, whatever you call this thing that he wears. You know, the way they made it look weathered and worn. I mean, it's really good attention to detail. And to be honest, I worried about these figures and QC issues because it seems like, you know, McFarlane announced these one day and then 2 weeks later they were up for order on the website, and then you order them and they come in no time. I got these things very quickly, you know, ordering from that website. So that's one good thing there. But you can get a good look there at Scarecrow. As far as his range of motion, he's got great range of motion. You know, as far as moving his legs back too far, of course, you have the long jacket thing on him here, but it is split in the back, but it's going to be hard with that thing pushing on his legs to do any kind of, I guess, dynamic poses with the guy, but still a very cool looking figure. And he's also got some skinny feet like Harvey. Let's get him on camera because he also stood up very well. So I got to quit nagging on McFarlane for their figures not wanting to stand up, because the last few that I've had on here, and even ones I haven't videoed, they seem to stand pretty good. So maybe he's doing something to balance them a little bit better. But there you have Scarecrow. And again, I gotta give it to the villains of this way. The Joker figure is a runaway best quality, best look, most awesome figure of this series. None of the rest of them are close, just because, again, of that face sculpt on the Joker. I mean, it just looks great. But again, you got, in my opinion, Joker's 1, you got Scarecrow 2, Batman 3, and Harvey 4. And I think I forgot to show Scarecrow's card. So you got a good little picture there of Dr. Crane. And then we'll look at the back and leave it up there for a second for any of those who might want to pause to read what's on the data file. And Scarecrow came with some alternate hands. You can see here, just like some gripping hands. Looks like, I guess if you do have something you want to pose in his hands there, because the hands on him, he's got one fist and one kind of open hand. So you do have some gripping hands you can put on him. I thought these might be for Bane when I first looked in the box, but you know, those are way too small. Those are probably look kind of comical on Bane, actually. But and then the Bane pieces he comes with are the arms. So we got his arms there to put on him here in a second and get him good to go. But that is the 4 figures. We've looked at them. Now we are going to set up. We are going to build Bane and take a look at him. So I will see you guys right here in a second. All right, everyone, let's take a look. I guess what you can call the main event, the Build-A-Figure of this wave. We've got Bane, and we got him put together here. We got his fist on there. Impressions of the build for this guy, I mean, not that bad. The only 2 aggravating points that I had with him, number 1 is the head. If you guys build this figure, be very wary. The peg that comes out of the neck here is very long and very skinny. It's kind of stubborn to get it to go onto the head. To go onto it, I had to moisten the little peg a lot to get it to slide in there. It tried to bend a little bit. I had to straighten it back out, but that was really the biggest issue. Number 2 are the legs, getting them to snap and stay into place. This diaper piece here was very, very loose. I had to keep shoving it back up in there and realigning, but we did get him put together here, and he is, I guess, in all his Bane glory now. So that is the only two negatives. Everything else went on. His hands were a little bit annoying to get to go on because the pegs were so long and thick. You had to really put them on, then twist them back and forth to get them to come up here enough to where they didn't look funny, on his wrist. But other than that, he's got very good range of motion in him, as far as moving around. One thing, and this is just a personal, but let me get him to flex here. Look at the biceps. I mean, Bane should be bigger than that. He should have bigger muscles. I mean, they didn't put a whole lot of muscle definition on him there. And I know Tom Hardy wasn't as big as the comic book steroided out Bane, but he was still pretty thick in that movie. So that's my only real negatives on it. The head was aggravating to get on, and the legs on all McFarlane figures I struggle with, but the legs were a pain in the butt to get to snap in and stay into place. And then to me, he's just not big enough. I mean, this figure, if you get Batman over here, and Batman's got the cape, he's heavier than Bane. Bane should be thicker than that. Joker, I mean, he's probably the lightest figure. I mean, Two-Face is probably the skinniest one, and he feels like he's heavier than what Bane is. But let's take a look at the guy. There, I mean, the head sculpt on him does look really good. The detail there on his breathing mask apparatus thing or whatever it is looks great. We come on down the front side, and you can see the details there in his pants, his knee pads, and his boots. And we'll take a look at one profile here on the side. And we'll take a look at the back. And one thing, that his arms, I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's got some muscles on there. He's working out, but look how thick they made his neck and his back muscles, and it goes out to these little twig arms. But like I said, that's the biggest complaint on there for me, is that they didn't make him big enough. Do I recommend this Build-A-Figure series? Yes. Do I like Bane? Yes. Do I wish he was better? Yes. But I still like the figure. It still looks good. You're still going to be able to do some cool poses with him, with Batman and the rest. But as far as the maneuverability of him, again, all of his joints come out of the box good and loose. His legs are a little bit stiff. I'm not going to mess with his legs, his knee joints here, until I do get to soak it in some water, because his legs are stiff, and I'm afraid of breaking one of them. But number one, let's see what standability he's got. That's the one aspect I do like to measure with these multiverse figures. And hey, he stands up. So we got him to stand there. All four of these stood up pretty good. All right, now that the Build-A-Figure series is complete, we got all 5 figures. Let's take a look at my final ranking of these figures, the one I like from least or most to least. So the one I like the most is still the Joker. Again, the head sculpt on this just takes the cake. I mean, it looks very, very much just like Heath Ledger. This thing is great. Second favorite, I'm still going to give the nod to Scarecrow, just because, I guess the horror movie element and the way his mask looks there, it pulls on 2 forms of nostalgia for me. I always liked the Scarecrow character in the comics, the way he was portrayed, and the kind of the fear toxin gas and all that. So Scarecrow's second. I'm still going to keep Batman third. This is a great Batman figure. I mean, it looks like Christian Bale's Batman. I mean, it's very good and posable with just a lot of good detail on him. It's an awesome figure. And then I want to throw Bane in there. Bane's going to come in at 4th for me. Bane, I really wanted it to be my favorite figure out of the line, but really the most determining factor in me not particularly caring a whole lot for this Bane, he's too skinny. He needs bigger, bulkier arms, and like you said, you can sit here on the midsection and squeeze it in. They didn't do a whole lot with this thing, so he's number 4. And then again, my least favorite is Two-Face. So there we have it. We've got the Dark Knight Trilogy Build-A-Figure series. Let's put them back in the order they came out of the boxes. 1 through 4, get them all on camera. I need to learn how to do this a little bit better. And then we got our Build-A-Figure Bane. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave likes, comments, suggestions, whatever you got. Did you pick up this wave? Did you like this wave? Which one did you like the most? Which one did you like the least? What do you think of Bane? Did you think he was an accurate portrayal, or do you think he needs some work done to him? But if you are a returning viewer who has not yet subscribed, if you are a new viewer to The Man Collects, please consider hitting that subscribe button and check out what we're doing here on YouTube. But until the next video, I will see everyone later.